Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about why you react to stress the way you do? Well, today we're diving into this really fascinating spiritual framework that says our reactions to hardship, they aren't random flaws. Nope, they're actually the very source of our unique power.
So let's just dive right in with a question for you. When things get really intense, when you feel completely overwhelmed, what's your gut reaction? Do you kind of clam up and go quiet? Do you absolutely need to talk it out with someone? Do you feel an urge to just get away from it all? Or do you just plant your feet and decide you're going to endure it? Just hold that answer in your mind for a few minutes. And that instinct, that gut reaction, brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today, a spiritual framework known as the Arreqqana pain power alignment. The idea is honestly so simple but really profound. The way you instinctively handle pain isn't a flaw you need to fix. It's your spiritual signature. It actually reveals the unique shape of your strength. And look, this is probably the single most important idea to get your head around right from the start. That first instinct you just identified, it's not a weakness. It's not something that needs to be corrected. According to this framework, it's the actual blueprint of your personal power, and it's just waiting for you to understand it. So how does this all work? Well, the framework is built around four main patterns, four core archetypes that describe how we turn pain into power. You can think of them as four different kinds of spiritual signatures. So let's get a quick look at what they are. First, you've got the silent flame, which finds its power in containment. Then there's the echoing river, which is all about the power of expression. The shifting wind gets its strength from transformation and movement. And finally, the rooted stone, which draws its power from pure, raw endurance. Each one uses an element to show us something really true about how we deal with hardship. All right, so let's really dive into these alignments one by one. And as we do, just see which one feels familiar. Which one feels the most like home? Which one describes that first instinct you thought about a minute ago? It's time to ask yourself, what is my primary power? Okay, first up we have the silent flame. This is the power of containment. If this is you, then you're the kind of person who carries your pain inward. It's like a sacred fire you tend to on the inside. People might see you as quiet, maybe a little mysterious, super observant. Your silence isn't empty, not at all. It's a spiritual forge where you're privately turning your suffering into some really deep wisdom. And the Arreqqana phrase for this is just perfect. Chotia la flame si. It means the fire is inside. It's not for show. It's not for public display. It's this private, powerful, and totally transformative inner world. Now, here's the thing. Every single one of these powers has a flip side, a shadow. For the silent flame, the incredible gift is this profound soul insight. But the shadow, the risk, is isolation. It's so easy to get lost in that powerful inner world that you accidentally disconnect from everyone else. Next, let's look at a total 180 from the silent flame, the echoing river. This is all about the power of expression. A river doesn't hold things in. They're like an emotional mirror. They feel everything, and I mean everything, so deeply, and they find their strength by speaking their raw truth, by being vulnerable. Their pain flows outward. And its guiding phrase is yada no shasha, which translates to cry as a blessing. For someone with this alignment, tears are never a sign of weakness. They're a form of cleansing. It's a sacred release that lets them heal and allows other people to see them fully. So you can see how the river's incredible gift is this sacred empathy, this unbelievable ability to connect. But just like a real river can flood its banks, the shadow of this power is overwhelm. When you feel so much, both for yourself and for others, it's really easy to get completely flooded by it all. All right, our third archetype, the shifting wind. This one finds its power in transformation. If you're wind, you don't stay still when you're in pain. You move with the storm. Hardship doesn't stick to you. It becomes this catalyst for movement, for escape, for constantly reinventing yourself. You don't just endure, you survive by changing. And the phrase for this is so beautiful. Vesha Lejora. It means, I became the breeze. It just perfectly paints this picture of someone who, when they're faced with an obstacle, doesn't try to fight it or even express it. They just transform around it. They become something else, something free and impossible to catch. So on the one hand, you have this incredible gift for metamorphosis. You can adapt to literally anything. But the shadow side of that constant motion is this feeling of disconnection. It can be a real struggle to put down roots or maintain those lasting ties when you're always becoming something new.
And that brings us to our final archetype, the rooted stone. And this is the power of endurance. This type is strength made real. They carry these heavy, heavy burdens, often without a single complaint, and they just keep going. People see them as these unshakable pillars, right? Their power is quiet. It feels ancient, and it is incredibly steady. Their phrase, man, it's just this powerful declaration, Torma no kara, which means the rock does not break. It speaks to this deep, almost primal resilience and to the kind of wisdom you only get from surviving something that, by all rights, should have broken you.
And that endurance, that refusal to break, is what creates the stone's amazing gift, a deep, profound survival wisdom that comes from weathering every single storm. And yet, the shadow of that immense strength is suppression. Sometimes, to keep going, the tendency is to just bury the emotions, to bury the pain, instead of actually processing it.
Okay, so we've met the flame, the river, the wind, and the stone. Now the big question is, how does this apply to you? Are you purely one of these? Or, like a lot of people, are you maybe a blend?
You know, the truth is, while one of these probably jumped out at you, most of us aren't just one thing. It's super common to be what's called a blend soul. You might have a dominant power, let's say the endurance of the rooted stone, but also a really strong secondary trait, like the expressiveness of the echoing river. Your spiritual signature is usually your own unique mix. And really, that is the whole point of this. This isn't about slapping a label on yourself and putting yourself in a box. It's actually the exact opposite. It's about giving a name to the resilience that's already inside you. It's about learning to look at your deepest instincts, not as flaws, but as the very source of your unique and undeniable strength. So, I want to leave you with this question. Whether you're a flame, a river, a wind, a stone, or some beautiful blend of them all, you now have a language for the shape of your pain. The real question is, what are you going to build with its power?